Sunday night, and it's the dead zone. And even though I blogged yesterday on the writing, the commentary, I didn't get a chance to record the videos. My father's birthday, 87th birthday, and so we spent the day celebrating that, and didn't get around to recording the reading of this yesterday, but that's okay, because I did blog, and it was one of those commentaries that is attending quite closely to. So, you know, as long as some work is done every day, I feel as if the writing is commemorated. So, with that, this is the second to last meditation that constitutes chapter 7, the saying of the sage, and it's on pages 189 to 190 in Being and Learning. Alright, so I'm in the backyard here in Portland. Beautiful day, evening, and picking up on the wisdom, the directive of wisdom. With this identification of wisdom as the reception of the appeal of language, as the conscience emerging from the affirmative response to the call to cultivate peace through the building of the abode of freedom, the shelter of difference, we have arrived at a deeper understanding of the proper name of the philosopher, the lover of wisdom. We appear to have arrived at a crucial moment where our initial renaming of the philosopher, the lover of wisdom, as the lover of learning, has come full circle. The proper renaming of the philosopher as sage, as the teacher who conveys wisdom, and in so doing arranges and directs the musical performance of the polyphonic community, the choir of freedom and peace, has indicated the link between the love of learning and the love of wisdom. The one who loves learning is precisely the one who desires and yearns for freedom and peace. The one who is an authentic lover of learning is the one who is most capable of conveying wisdom, of transmitting this call to attend to and let others be, to hear the silent beckoning of the ineffable. Lover of wisdom is thus the one who loves learning, and to love learning is to maintain steadfast openness and to submit oneself to painstaking listening. The lover of wisdom, the philosopher, is thus the one who remains most open and who waits. The one who waits practices meditative thinking and is reposed. And being reposed, he appears to do nothing. This, as we have said, is the way things appear from the perspective of calculative thinking, from the perspective of the analyst, for whom this wandering appears as aimless and poetic thinking useless. The comportment of the sage who lets nothing else be learned than learning, her conduct, quote, often produces the impression that we really learn nothing from him if by learning we now automatically understand merely the procurement of useful information. That's from Heidegger. This learning as doing nothing is confirmed by the one who observes the process unfolding from the perspective of poetic phenomenology. From this perspective, the calm repose which waits upon the arrival of the ineffable and remains open and ready for the unforeseen. The evocative saying of the sage, which gathers the gathering directive, which conveys the gathering directive of wisdom, is heard and thereby received as an appeal to an ever more painstaking listening. Lost my place. And furthest from the propositional statement that is dealt with solely in regard to correctness and incorrectness. Thus, when Heidegger quotes the lines from Hölderlin, full of merit, yet poetically, man dwells on this earth, he has indicated the poetic dwelling emerging within the abode of peace and freedom that is built and cultivated under the direction of she who directs the dialogic engagement between the many. Poetic dwelling is full of merit and identifies the depth and significance of meaning-making that supersedes the busyness of transactional exchange. The one-sidedness of instrumental reasoning and its measurable outcomes. To be full of merit is to be fulfilled with meaning. But the one who is fulfilled with meaning is the one who has emptied herself. and thereby submitted himself to the other. This is the one who has responded to the appeal of language, listened to the word, and thereby been directed along the path of wisdom. Thus, the lover of wisdom is the one who's devoted himself to the practice of meditative thinking, practice of willing, non-willing, withdrawn to the sheer activity of non-action, so has taken up the questioning stand and is held out before the nothing. The lover of wisdom is the lover of learning, the one whose love of truth is identified in her desire to cultivate freedom and peace. This desire, precisely what motivates the sage to practice meditation, to devote himself to the rigor and discipline of non-willing, so as to be ready and capable to guide others into the open region. Thus, the proper name of the philosopher, the one who devotes herself to the pursuit of the truth, is the lover of freedom. Freedom, as Heidegger says, is the essence of truth. But this freedom is only attained by those who have emptied themselves and thereby opened themselves to the other, and thereby heeded the gathering directive of wisdom conveyed through the word. Quote, to free oneself for a binding directedness is possible only by being free for what is opened up in the open region. Such being free points to the heretofore uncomprehended essence of freedom. The openness of comportment as the inner condition of the possibility of correctness is grounded in freedom. The essence of truth is freedom. Unquote from Heidegger. That's how it ends. From the 7th day of June, which was yesterday, but as I said, I already blogged, so I didn't miss a day. I just did that, and I also did some other writing related to the libretto for Late to Love, and I celebrated my father's 87th birthday. All good reasons to record one day later, but not to have not commemorated. This is very important. As if, well, I'm assuming that maybe one person who's watching this is following this along. See, this quotation from Heidegger, again, this is from page 190, I believe, in Being and Learning, is an example of the type of writing that I'm inspired by. I would say inspired to follow, but, you know, working within the space that Heidegger created, particularly using his naming of the open region. This open region is very important, so I borrowed that concept from him. Second, the idea of freedom as this letting be is like the ultimate sort of phenomenological gesture. That's what's at the center. So part of the writing itself is stepping back and just letting it flow, and that's why it's very repetitive, almost to the point where it seems when one listens to one video after another, or even reads the book, more importantly, the final result, that it seems like it's repeating itself over and over again, and in a way it is, but if that's what was happening, that's what was happening. You know, so, but the bigger picture is this very interesting, challenging notion of the sage modality, where you just step back and let things be. You know, this to me is an ideal form of education at all levels, both because I think it really helps and cultivates a space where lots of difference can arise, which is the fundamental human condition, is that plurality. And hopefully there's some orchestration going on so that it comes together in some meaningful way. And that's it from the 7th day of June, commemorated 10 years later.